Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Fat Thor. He was from a wave of Marvel Cinematic Universe figures from Civil War, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. This was Thor after Thanos snapped, killing half of the world's population. Thor became depressed, decided to turn to drinking beer, playing video games with his buddies. It's a hilarious scene in Endgame where Thor was really fat in his slob, in his pajamas, his hoodie, his bathrobe, with his buddies. They were all playing Fortnite. I bought this figure myself because A, he's really cool, and B, I can use this guy for so many different things in my action figure world. How often do you get a fat slob in pajamas playing his video games? Not too often. So let's take a peek at this figure. Starting with his face here, I see a lot of unique tooling. His beard is huge, his hair is in disarray, but it definitely has that Chris Hemsworth look to him. You can see his red, long bathrobe. He's got his hoodie on underneath there. Fat stomach here, and then he's got his PJ pajama bottom pants on. Gloved hands look really weird. He's got his time machine on the other hand. You had to get 6 figures to build this guy, and in my opinion, it was worth it. I can use this guy for so many different things in my action figure world. I like Marvel, but I'm not a Marvel collector. My collection is predominantly Batman related, but I absolutely love civilian and regular looking people, and this guy fits the bill. So here's a figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. You had to buy a full wave of 6 figures to make this collect and connect or build a figure Thor. Now I personally did not buy all 6 of these figures, as I'm not really much of a Marvel collector. I just get the Marvel figures that I can use for regular people in my overall action figure world building. So in order to complete this guy, you would have to get Vision, who came with the torso, Iron Patriot, that came with both heads, Captain America, that came with his right arm, Iron Man, that came with his left arm, Valkyrie, that came with his left leg, and Heimdall, that came with his right leg. Now in addition to that, you can actually remove his hands from his arms, and of course you can remove his robe. Buy all 6 of the figures, get you a pretty cool, unusual Thor. Now that we've reassembled him, and I must say, you can take him apart and put him back together pretty easily. He doesn't come apart when you're moving around, but if you want to take him apart, it can be done pretty nicely. Let's take another look at him. Face here, I like how his beard is darker than his hair. You can see the scar above his right eye where he lost it. His hair, the sculpt is nice. A ton of different colors, blonde, brown, a ton of variations. You can see even that strand going back. Detail is excellent. I like his robe, got a little belt thing hanging down there. He's got his hoodie in there with his big old belly, got the pocket in the front, the strings hanging down. His hands are pretty weird. At first I just kept looking at them like, oh, they look so weird, or like got a weird sort of texture to them, but then I realized that they're gloved hands, the kind with the fingers sort of cut out. You can really barely tell. It just looks like a horrible flesh job, but if you actually understand what you're looking at, it makes sense. Then this hand here has his little time machine glove on top of his other glove, on top of his flesh hands. Then he's got these pajama bottoms. Just what a ridiculous looking guy. Makes me love him so much. And there's a quick little look at his shoes there. Now you can actually take this guy's robe off, but it simply doesn't work, as he's got a little piece of the robe still there on his biceps. Would have been pretty nice if you could have swapped out just the hoodie and just the robe. So I plan to use this guy as either number 1, a drunk, stoner, lazy, slob video gamer, or perhaps even a homeless guy. His outfit is just ridiculous, doesn't match. I can see this guy perhaps warming his hands on a little fire in a barrel in the slums. He does come with 2 accessories, Thor's alternate axe, as well as a different head with sunglasses on. I personally prefer the head without sunglasses, as it looks a little bit more normal. But maybe after a rough night of drinking and gaming, he's going to wear the sunglasses till he recovers. Here's his first head without the sunglasses. This is the head that I prefer among the two. And here's his head with the sunglasses. Honestly, they look to be the exact same head, just with or without sunglasses. Kind of surprised that Hasbro didn't just give us some removable sunglasses. You'd think that would be quite a bit cheaper than including two completely different heads. And then we've got Thor's axe. This is not the axe that Thor had in the first Avengers film, but the one he had in the later films. In fact, in Endgame, he had both axes for a little while. Thing's quite a bit more primitive. It's got a wooden base, and then the axe at the top. The detail's pretty nice, and it's appropriate for this guy. Here he is calling for his hammer, and then here he is holding it. He can hold his hammer with either one hand or two hands. It's times like now, and honestly many other times, that I regret selling my set from the first Avengers film. I had a really nice Walmart exclusive wave, contained all the characters except for Black Widow. I would have really liked to have had Thor's original look, his original hammer, and there have been numerous times I regretted getting rid of those figures. When the Avengers film came out, it was so good I just had to get the team. And they're still cool, but after a couple years, ended up flipping the figures, and really do regret it. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out the height of this guy. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.75 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint, they've got more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. There's a bicep cut, and it's hidden very nicely under his robe. Double jointed elbows, and go in about this far, a little bit obstructed from his robe here. His wrists can rotate around, and they're hinged as well. He's got kind of a ball joint here in his torso, can rotate around, can also go in and out, giving him a pretty good range of motion here. Looks like he's got a waist swivel below that. Legs are on ball joints, they can go out about that far. And go forward about that much, pretty nice. Back about that far. He's got a thigh cut here. Single jointed knees, and go back that far, and they can rotate as well. Then his foot here, go up and down. It can rotate quite a bit and rock. Here's Thor in his house playing some video games. You can see he's got the controller there. He's got some drinks down there. Unfortunately, with this guy's robe, he really can't sit down properly. Here he is, taking a little break from the game, having himself a nice little beer. And like I said earlier, this guy's going to double up as a drunk gamer, as well as perhaps a homeless guy. Here he is in an alleyway, warming his hands up with a fire and a barrel. Now let's check this guy out, compared with some other action figures, starting with some other Marvel figures. Here he is, next to some other Marvel Cinematic Avenger characters in civilian attire. From left to right, we've got Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Thor, and then Captain America. Captain America is actually on a Peter Parker body. I'm thinking about getting a second Peter Parker to actually keep this Captain America head on it. But for now, he's still my Peter Parker. And if you wanted to take it one step further, here's even more Marvel Cinematic Universe Avengers characters in civilian type attire. We've got Agent Coulson, Nick Fury, Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Thor, Captain America, and Stan Lee. Here he is with all my different Marvel Legends figures that are in regular clothing. These are Marvel Legends figures I've collected over the years that are in civilian attire and can be fudged into my regular action figure world. Most of these are from Hasbro, but a few are from Toy Biz. If there's anyone you're aware of that I'm missing that I could use in my regular action figure world, please drop me a line in the comments below. I do appreciate that. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figure lines from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style wise in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here with some SH Figure Arts action figures. Then with some Mafex figures. Now, next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here he is with some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And with some NECA figures. Then with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then with some McFarlane toys. And here he is with some DST or Diamond Select toys. So overall, this is a pretty nice action figure. How often do you get a figure in his pajamas, a drunken fat slob? This guy's just so cool. Looks like pretty much all new tooling for this guy. Hasbro did a great job with this if you ask me. And for my unique action figure purposes, this guy's a home run as well. If I were to rate this figure, I think I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10. I'm enjoying him every bit as much as I hoped I would, and I hoped I would enjoy this guy a lot. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.